Good morning, students. Today let us study about recent trends and the subtopic we consider today is types of deep learning. In the last session we have seen about deep learning. So let us see the key takeaways for today's session. Firstly, we will study about the various types of deep learning techniques we have. Then we will study about the applications of various deep learning types. Then followed by certain advantages and disadvantages of deep learning and assignment. So deep learning has basically adapted a lot from neural networks, and they are going to deeply be involved with neural networks, so they can be called as deep neural networks. They are basically trying to mimic the human brain, and human brain has a lot of neurons which basically makes intelligent decisions. That is where even the neural networks involved with deep neural networks is basically helpful in making intelligent decisions. It has various applications, like self-driven car being one of the major applications where a car captures a lot of images from the surrounding area, which is basically self-driven, and it basically decides based on the images that are captured and processes that data, whether it should go left, whether it should go right, or whether it should go straight. So, if at all there is any object hindering its path, it might basically stop also basically to avoid accident. So, it also tries to identify which particular object is there on its way. So, self-driven cars can be one of the best trend basically to reduce the accidents that happen every year. That is basically because of maybe drunken driven or whatever the issues could be. Man-made disasters can be reduced by using self-driven cars. And there are various other applications of deep learning. As I told you, self-driven cars being one of the best applications. Then you have is the automatic language translators, where you can translate French to German or maybe French to English. Like you can see on Facebook what happens is anybody who is commented on any other language, that Facebook basically tries to convert those statements to English. So of course it is trying its best, so that is where it is using deep learning. Of course even Google Translator is also trying to use deep learning to basically convert any given language to any expected language. Then there are various other applications, like we have auto tagging, and auto tagging also of Facebook is another application of deep learning. And then you have the where faces are captured and then they are trying to tag from the friends you have or wherever the face matches. So that is an example for face recognition. And then the other one would be the where auto caption is basically given. Whatever image is there basically in the photo is analyzed, and based on that suggested caption is given to the image whichever you try to upload. So your work is basically reduced there of deciding what caption to give. If you agree with that, you can basically stick on to the same caption, or maybe you can change the caption or edit it. It is your wish. So here you can see there are various applications for deep learning. So let us study more about the types of deep learning and various other things, like advantages and disadvantages of deep learning and individual applications of deep learning techniques. So what is deep learning basically? It's a computer software that mimics the network of neurons in a brain, and it's basically a subset of machine learning, and it's called deep learning, specifically deep neural networks, because it is adapting neural networks. So it makes use of deep neural networks. Deep learning structures the algorithm into multiple layers. There are going to be various layers that basically create an artificial neural network. There could be an input layer, an output layer, some hidden layers. Whatever there was there in the neural networks is basically adapted, and that is why it is also called as deep neural networks. So this neural network can learn from the data and make intelligent decisions on its own. So these are various types of deep learning networks will be coming across in this session. You have feed-forward neural network, which you studied with neural networks also. Then we have recurrent neural networks, conventional neural networks, convolution neural networks, which are termed as CNNs, and restricted Boltzmann machine and autoencoding. So these are some of the types of deep learning networks. We will see some by one by one. So firstly about feed-forward neural networks. This is none other than your ANN what you studied, that's artificial neural networks. and this basically ensures that the nodes do not form a cycle. Nodes are basically the processing units which are used or are called as neurons also, which are used in the network. So in this kind of neural network, all the perceptrons, which are basically neurons, are organized within the layers. So perceptrons are also called as neurons in neural network. So they are basically organized within layers, and they are organized in such a manner that the input layer takes the input and the output layer specifically generates some specific output as expected from the network. Now there are certain hidden layers and they do not link with the outside world. So they are basically named as hidden because they do not connect to the outside. So there are no loops basically, no back loops or any types of loop in the feed-forward network. That is why they also call as feed-forward with loop in the forward direction. Each of the perceptrons contained in one of the single layer is basically associated with each of the node in the subsequent layer. There are various layers. So first layer is basically connected to the next layer and so on. The previous layer is subsequently connected to the next successive layer. So it can be concluded that all of the neurons are basically fully connected, or all the nodes are basically fully connected. It does not contain any visible or invisible connections between the nodes in the same layer. So no nodes in the same layer are connected to each other, may be visible or invisible. So to minimize the prediction error, the backpropagation algorithm can be used to update the weight pattern. Now there are various applications for feed-forward neural network. We have data compression, pattern recognition, computer vision, various other applications like sonar target recognition, speech recognition, handwritten character recognition. Now the other form of deep learning is recurrent neural network, and these are yet another variation of feed-forward network. These are similar to feed-forward network, but they vary in some form. So here each of the neuron present in the hidden layer receives an input from the other layer with some specific delay in time. So the recurrent neural network mainly accesses the preceding information of the existing iterations. Now for example, you can guess a successing word. Okay? It is something like what you have in your mobile phone. So in any specific sentence. So when you just say feed, you can have forward as the next word. So that is where you're trying to predict the next word. So one must have knowledge about the words that were previously used. So you have to have the knowledge what was feed forward used before. So if you enter feed, then forward is automatically going to come up. So it not only processes the input but also shares the length as well as the weights cross weight time. And it does not let the size of the model to increase with the increase in the input size. The model size basically remains the same even if the input is increased. So it's basically very efficient in this manner. Now the only problem with the recurrent neural network is that it has very slow computational speed, as well as it does not contemplate any future input for the current state. So it has a problem with reminiscing prior information. It cannot basically work with the prior information properly. It has a problem with reminiscing. There are various applications for recurrent neural network, like we have machine translation, robot control, time series prediction, speech recognition, speech synthesis, time series anomaly detection, rhythm learning, music composition. So see, these are some of the major applications for neural network. Then we have CNN, that is convolution neural network. So these are special kind of neural networks that are basically very specifically used for image classification, clustering of image and object recognition. So CNNs enable unsupervised construction of hierarchical image representation. To achieve the best accuracy in deep convolution neural network, they are preferred more than any of the other neural networks. So the preference for CNN is more as compared to the other neural networks. There are various applications for CNN, identifying faces, street signs, finding out the tumors, image recognition, video analysis, and NLP, that is natural language processing. Various other applications are anomaly detection, drug discovery, checkers game, and time series forecasting. So these are some of the major applications for CNN. Then we have restricted Boltzmann machines, which are termed as RBMs. So these are yet another variant of Boltzmann machines which you have studied basically in AI. We are just specifically focusing on restricted Boltzmann machine. So here the neurons present in the network input layer and the hidden layer, they basically possess or encompass symmetric connections amid them. So they do have some symmetric connections between them. However, there is no internal association within the respective layer. But in contrast, RBM, Boltzmann machines do not consider internal connections inside the hidden layer. They do not encompass internal connections inside the hidden layer. So these restrictions in VM help model to train efficiently. So these can be used for training very efficiently. The various major applications for restricted Boltzmann machine are filtering, feature learning, classification, risk detection, business and economic analysis. Then we have the autoencoders. These are basically neural network in which there is another kind of or are basically very much belonging to unsupervised machine learning algorithms. And here the number of hidden layers is very small in that of the input cells. But the number of input cells is equivalent to the number of output cells. So here whatever is, how many neurons are there in the input are equivalently going to be specified in the output. And autoencoder network is trained to display the output similar to the fed input to force AEs to find common patterns and generalize the data. So it is basically used to find certain common patterns, and it is basically used to generalize the data that is used in the network. The autoencoders are mainly used for smaller representation of input. So the input here is used of a very smaller representation, and it helps in reconstruction of the original data from compressed data. The algorithm comparatively is simple, as it only necessitates the output indicated which is required, and it is identical to the input. Encoder is basically used to convert input data in lower dimensions, and decoder basically reconstructs the compressed data. There are various applications for autoencoders. You have classification, clustering, and feature compression. Deep learning applications are many, as we discussed self-learning, self-driving cars. So in this case, it basically captures the images around it by processing a huge amount of data, and then it will decide what actions needs to be taken, whether it has to move left or right, or should it stop. So accordingly, it will decide what action it should take, and this will further reduce the accidents that happen every year. Then we have voice controlled assistant. Siri is one of the best examples that comes to our mind. And so whenever you tell Siri to do something or to find something, so it will display on the screen whatever you are trying to ask. Then you have automatic image caption generation. You give any specific image and caption is generated to it automatically. Like for example, if you say blue colored eye, it will display a blue colored eye with a caption at the bottom of the image. So captions are basically displayed at the lower side of the image, and this is going to be auto-generated based on whatever content is there in the image. Automatic machine translation is one in which we are basically able to convert one language into another with the help of deep learning. Like for example, Hindi statements are converted to English or any specific language whichever is supported by the translator. There are various advantages and disadvantages of deep learning. Let us first focus on advantages. This lessens the need for feature engineering, and it basically eradicates all those costs that are needless, and unwanted costs are basically removed, and it easily identifies difficult defects, right? Whichever defects were easily available, were not easily identifiable before, it can identify those defects, and it results in best-in-class performance on problems. There are various disadvantages. Specifically, it requires ample amount of data to process. With small amount of data, it may not be able to work properly, and it is quite expensive to train. It takes a lot of time to train the various deep learning algorithms. It needs a lot of data also to train. Because it has a lot of data, it might take a lot of time, and it does not have strong theoretical groundwork, and it only learns through the observation. So it makes a lot of observations and learns through it, and it comprises of biases issues. And these are certain assignments for today's topic, very much related to this specific topic. And if you have any questions, any doubts, do not hesitate to contact me at the specified email ID. We are done for today.